Hello students, welcome to Science Learning Gateway. I hope you all are doing good. So today we are going to start class 8 social science syllabus, and this chapter is from your geography section, and this is the first chapter of geography, and the name of the chapter is Earth, the Earth, our living planet. So in this chapter basically we'll read about the Earth. What are the features of Earth by which makes the planet a living planet? Means all the living organisms can survive in the earth. Those things we'll read about the latitudes, longitudes, and all the features related to that we'll read in this chapter. This tutorial will be helpful for the Karnataka board as well as for the other state board students. So go through the video once. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. So let's start our chapter. So this is the chapter Earth, our living planet. In this chapter, we'll read about the different names of the Earth, what Earths are called with different names, the size of the Earth and distribution of water. As we all know that in Earth, large amount of water is present. So about distribution of water, in we'll read continents and oceans of the world, latitude, longitudes, time, local time, standard time, and international date and line. Those things we'll read. Ocean and continents on the world map. These things also will read. And for the latest, according to the latest syllabus of Karnataka board, few of the portions are reduced from the syllabus because of the COVID-19. But this chapter is not reduced at all. You have to read the chapter completely. Only this last portion, ocean and continents on the world map, this has been uh, skipped from this chapter. The other points we'll read in this chapter. Okay. Okay, first of all, you all know that we are living on the planet Earth, and it is the third planet from the sun in the solar system. In solar system altogether we have, previously it was 9 planets, but now we have 8 planets, and Earth is the third planet from the sun. And in the Earth we are living. All the plants and animals, all the living organisms, they are present in the Earth, because in the Earth the temperature is suitable, which in which life can exist. Life can be present in the Earth because of its suitable temperature and condition. And its distance is also little, because of its distance from the Earth, also the range of temperature, and few and many gases are also present in the atmosphere. Because of the water cycle and other features, the in the Earth life can be possible. So Earth is called by many names. So what are the different names of Earth? It is called as living planet because all living organisms are there in the Earth. Unique planet because it is different from the other planets because it can support life. Watery planet, most of the part of the Earth is water, so it is also called watery planet. And the last one is called the blue planet because its color is blue in color, because most part of the Earth contains water, so it looks blue in color. So these are the different names of the planet: living planet, unique planet, watery planet, and blue planet. So these are the different names of the planet Earth: living planet, unique planet, watery planet, and blue planet. Now, now we'll look about at the size of the earth. What is the size of the earth? Distribution of land and water bodies means what percentage of the earth is covered with land and what percentage of the earth is covered with water. That we'll learn in this paragraph. Earth is the fifth largest planet in the sun's family. So you can underline this one. Earth is the fifth largest planet in the solar system or in the sun's family. Among all the planets, the size of the Earth is the fifth largest planet. The diameter of Earth is approximately 4 times greater than the moon, and it is around 107 times less than that of the sun. Its diameter is 4 times more than that of moon and 107 times less than that of the sun. So this was about the diameter of the sun. Then we have the total geographical area of the earth is 510 million square kilometers, which is of which 361 million kilometers, 70.78% is covered by water. So don't no need to remember this one. Total area of the earth, total geographical area of the earth is 510 million square kilometer. Out of this 510 square kilometer, 361 million square kilometer is covered with water, means 70.78% of the total earth surface is covered by water. 70.78% is water only, and 149 square kilometer is your land, that is 29.22% is covered by land. So this percentage you can remember. Water, in the total, out of 100%, 70.78% is covered with water and 29.22% is covered by land. Thus earth has unequal distribution of land and water, means you can see that unequal distribution is there, means more than 50% is covered with water and very less portion of the earth is covered by land where we are living. The ratio between the land and the water bodies is also given over here. It is 1.2.43, 1 is to 2.43. The ratio between water, land and water bodies is this much, 1 is to 2.43. So this was all about your size of the earth. Next, the earth shape. Now we'll talk about the shape of the earth. The shape of the earth is geoid shape. It is said that the shape of the earth is described as geoid shape. What is the meaning of this geoid? Which literally means earth shaped or oblate spheroid. You can see in the diagram the shape of the earth is like geoid, and its meaning is earth shaped or oblate spheroid. You all have seen the globe. I think you all have seen the globe. The shape of the earth is like that only. It is like a oblate spheroid shape. The earth is flattened at the poles and bulges at the equator. Means these are the poles, north pole and the south pole. The earth is flattened at these portion, and in the equator part it is bulges means it is little outward. This is the diagram. The equatorial diameter of earth is, what is the equatorial diameter of that? 12,756 kilometer, means this diameter. This is known as the equatorial diameter. This is the equator of the earth. So the equatorial diameter from this end to this end is 12,756 kilometer, and the polar diameter is 12,714 kilometer. This is the pole, north pole and the south pole. So this total diameter is your 12,714 kilometers. Equatorial circumference. This is the equatorial circumference, and it is 40,076 kilometer, and polar circumference here 40,008 kilometers. The difference of 42 kilometers in diameter is the proof for regarding the geoid shape of the earth. So why earth is geoid in shape? Because there is a difference between the equatorial diameter and the polar diameter. If you subtract 12,756 and 12,714, you will get a difference of 42 kilometers. This difference makes the shape of the earth as geoid shape. Next, the land bodies of the earth are known as the land which is covered by, with the land which is present in the earth. They are known as the land bodies of the earth are known as continents. So how many continents we have? There are 7 continents. Okay, you should remember these one. There are 7 continents. And what are the name of the 7 continents? Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, and Europe and Australia. These are the 7 continents: Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe and Australia. These are the 7 continents of the earth. The continents are land masses of large size. Okay, these are the continents in where only land areas will be present. The land bodies of the earth are known as continents. So over there only land will be present. And which is the largest continent in the world? Asia is the largest continent in the world, while Australia is the smallest continent. These 2 points also you should remember. Asia is the largest continent and Australia is the smallest continent. The largest water bodies on the earth are called oceans. Now we'll talk about the water bodies. The large water bodies which cover the earth are called oceans. As the land masses are called continents, like that large water bodies are called oceans. So how many oceans we have? We have 4 major oceans. And what are the name of these oceans? Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean and the Arctic Ocean. Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic. These are the 4 oceans. The Pacific is the largest ocean and the deepest ocean. So this also you should remember. Pacific Ocean is the largest and the deepest ocean. For 1 marks question it can come. Name the largest ocean. Then you have to write Pacific Ocean. While Arctic Ocean is the smallest and the shallowest ocean. Okay. Pacific is the largest and the deepest. Arctic is the smallest and the shallowest. Like we have read, for Asia is the largest continent. Australia is the smallest continent. So these things you have to remember. Largest and the smallest one. Now, in the next paragraph, what we have? The land and water bodies are unevenly distributed between the northern and the southern hemisphere. Means the distribution of land and water is not equal in earth. It is distributed unevenly in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Okay, the northern hemisphere has 60% land and 40% of the water. Means towards the north side of the earth, it is 60% land. 60% of the earth is covered in the northern hemisphere with land and 40% is water, and therefore it is called land hemisphere, since most of the part is covered with land. So it is called land hemisphere. Why northern hemisphere is called land hemisphere? Because in northern hemisphere 60% of land and 40% of water is there, so it is called land hemisphere. More land is there, so it is called land hemisphere. On the other hand, there is 80% of water and 19% of land in southern hemisphere, and so it is called water hemisphere. But towards the southern sides in southern hemisphere, what happens, 80% of that area is 81% is covered with water and 19% is land. More portion is covered with water, so it is called water hemisphere. So you should remember, northern hemisphere is called land hemisphere and southern hemisphere is called water hemisphere, because northern hemisphere is most of the part is covered with land, so it is called northern hemisphere, land hemisphere. And in southern hemisphere, most of the part is covered with water, so it is called water hemisphere. The earth is spherical in shape. Okay, the earth is not circular in its shape, it is spherical in shape. Okay, like a sphere it will look, it is spherical in shape. So what is the shape of the earth? It is spherical in shape. Therefore, it is difficult to locate the places, the direction, and calculate distances between the places. In order to understand the relation between different places on the earth and their exact location, we have to understand their position, their distance from any fixed point, and also their exact direction. To know the position, distance, and direction, east and west or north and south, a network of lines are drawn on the globe. These are known as lines of latitudes and longitudes. Okay, in order to locate any place on the earth, it is very difficult task. So what is there, in the all the direction, north, south, east and west, some lines are drawn, and these lines are called lines of latitudes and lines of longitudes, which help us to locate the places in the map or in the earth. The horizontal lines are the lines of latitudes. The horizontal lines means the lines which are drawn from top to bottom, from north to south pole, are called the lines of latitudes, and the vertical lines are called lines of longitudes. This you have to remember. Horizontal lines are called lines of latitudes, vertical lines are called lines of longitudes. These lines intersect each other at right angles and create a network called grid or gratitude. Suppose this is your horizontal line, this is your vertical line. They will intersect each other at making 90-degree angle, right angle, and it is called grid or graticule. Okay, where both the lines will intersect each other, those are called grid or graticule, making an angle of 90 degree. Next we'll talk about latitudes. What are latitudes? Latitude is an imaginary line which joins all the places which have the same angular distances north or south of the equator. Okay, from the north to the south, the lines which are drawn, the imaginary lines which are drawn, these are called latitudes. It is measured in degrees. The equator 0 degree is the longest line of latitude, known as the great circle. So you should remember this one. The equator, it is the longest line of latitude, known as the great angle. What will be the degree of equator? It is 0 degree, and it is the longest line of latitude, known as great circle. You can see in this diagram, this line, this is the equator, and its degree is 0 degree, and it is the longest line of latitude. Okay, it is the longest line of latitude and also known as the great circle. You can underline this one. And known as great circle. It is equal to the circumference of the earth. Okay, the equator is equal to the circumference, total circumference of the earth. The other lines of latitudes are of shortest length. The length of lines of the latitude decrease with the distance from the equator. All the lines of the latitudes are circle and parallel to the equator. You can see in the diagram, all the lines of the latitudes will be shorter, and because the equator is the longest latitude, all other lines will be shorter and they will be parallel to each other. Okay, these are 90 degree of latitudes on each side of the equator. 90 degree of north and south are points. Including equator, totally there are 181 latitudes including the equator on the globe. The ground distance between the 2 degrees of latitude is 110.4 kilometers. So what we have read about the latitudes are the imaginary lines which join all the places which have the same angular distance as north or south of the equator. Okay, suppose this is the north of the equator, this is the south of the equator. It will join all the lines, and equator is the longest line of the latitude, and it is known as the great circle, and it is 0 in degree, and it is equal to the circumference of the total earth. Other lines will be shorter and they will be parallel to the equators. So these things we have read. Important latitudes: 0 degree latitude equator, wait a second, 0 degree latitude equator or great circle. if the latitude will be of 0 degree, then it is called equator or great circle. If it is 23 and a half degree north latitude, it is called Tropic of Cancer. 23 and a half degree south latitude, it is called Tropic of Capricorn. 66 and a half degree north latitude, it is called Arctic Circle. 66 and a half degree south latitude, it is called Antarctic Circle. Then what we have, 90 degree north, then it is called North Pole. 90 degree south, it is called South Pole. Okay, 90 degree north, you can see in the diagram, 90 degree north and 90 degree south. 90 degree north, you can remember, it is called North Pole, and 90 degree south, it is called South Pole. This is the North Pole area, you can see in the diagram, and this is the South Pole area, parallel of latitudes and meridians of longitudes. The lines which are parallel to the equator, they are called the latitudes. You have to remember this thing. Okay, 66 and a half degree south latitude, 66 and a half degree south latitude, it will come over this place, it is called Antarctic Circle. And 66 and a half degree north latitude, it's called Arctic Circle. 23 and a half degree south latitude is called Tropic of Cancer. Over there it can be somewhere. Okay, and this side we have 23 and a half degree north latitude, it's called Tropic of Cancer. This side we have Tropic of Cancer, and this side we have Tropic of Cancer. 0 degree latitude is your equator or the great circle. So you should remember these all 7 points. Next we'll talk about longitudes. What are longitudes? The imaginary lines that intersect equator at right angle joining the north and the south are called longitudes. Means the lines which are drawn from the north pole towards the south pole are called the longitudes. Like this, suppose this is your north pole, this is your south pole, the line, and this is our equator. So it will intersect equator at right angles at 90 degrees. So this line is called your longitudes. It will join the north pole and south pole and intersect at the equator at right angles. This is the equator. It is intersecting it, making a 90-degree angle. So it is called the longitude. So the what are longitudes? Longitudes are the imaginary lines which join the north pole to the south pole, and they intersect at the equator. For example, this is our longitude. These lines, these are our longitudes which are joining from north pole to the south pole. Next, on the globe, longitudes are shown as series of semicircles that run from the pole to pole passing through the equator. All the lines of longitude are of equal length. Lines of longitudes are called meridians. Mid and Dian's day. Okay, midday. Because all places along the same meridians of longitudes experience noon or midday at the same time. The meridian passing through Greenwich, England, has been chosen as prime meridian. It is marked as 0 degree longitude. So what we have read, as in this diagram you can see there are many lines, longitudes, and they are making semicircles. In the diagram you can see semicircles are made. These are called the longitudes. They will pass through the equator, and these are called the lines of longitudes are of equal length. The lines of longitudes are also called meridians. Meridians means sometimes the earth will in the earth we see that day and night phenomena. Because of this they are changing the place, the earth is rotating. Because of that, some places will have day, some places will have night type of scene. The meridian passing through Greenwich, England, has been chosen as prime meridian. Okay, this is the prime meridian which is passing through the England. It is marked as 0 degree longitude. 0 degree longitude, it is marked at 0 degree longitude. This diagram you can see, this is passing through the England, and it is marked at 0 degree longitude. Okay, after that there are 180 of longitudes to the east of Greenwich and 180 to the west. Thus there are 360 of longitudes. So how many longitudes we have? 360 longitudes. The zone between the prime meridian and 180 degree east longitude is called eastern hemisphere. The opposite zone is called the western hemisphere. Okay, the zone between the prime meridian and 180 east longitude is called eastern hemisphere, and the opposite zone will be your western hemisphere, because east and west are opposite to each other. The distance between two consecutive longitude decrease gradually with distance from the equator. This is because meridians of longitude converge at two poles. On the equator, the distance between the two consecutive meridian is 111 kilometers. Okay, as the distance as the longitudes will come close to each other, it is decreasing. Means the distance is decreasing between the two longitudes. You can see that the distance between this longitude and this longitude, it will decrease. Then if you'll move from here to here, then again it will decrease, keep on decreasing. Now the next topic is our longitude and time. There is a definite relation between the longitude and time. The Earth is rotating on its axis and completes one rotation in 24 hours. You all know that the Earth is keep on rotating. Because of that only we can see the day and night phenomena, and it will complete its full rotation in how many hours? In 24 hours. Because of that only we can see the day and night phenomena in 24 hours. This means 360 longitudes are covered in a period of 24 hours. So how many longitudes are covered in a period of, how many total longitudes we have? 360 longitudes. So these 360 longitudes are covered in a period of how many hours? 24 hours. This gave rise to a time difference of 4 minutes for every 1 degree of longitude, 60 minutes or 1 hour for every 15 degree of longitude. That is 24 hours they have calculated. It takes 24 hours to complete one complete revolution. The time difference is to be added in case of places to the east of GMT, and in case of places to the west of the time difference is to be subtracted. Okay, so this thing you have to remember, that the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. That means it will complete 360 longitudes in 24 hours. Local time. Now we'll talk about the local time. The time according to the longitude of a place or according to the position of the sun at that place is known as local time. Means suppose we are living in India. So we are following the time of India. Means according to the place, according to the longitude of that place, and according to the position of the sun of that place, the local time is decided. This is based on the local meridian passing over that place. When the sun is shining vertically over the longitude, it is 12 degree noon. You can see during the daytime when it is 12 degree noon, 12 noon, that time the sun will be shining vertically at that place. All the places situated on the same meridian have the same local time. Every longitude has its own local time. For example, we are living in India, so we all, in all the states of India, same time is followed because of the local time. Next we have the standard time, which is followed all over the world. Standard time means which is followed all over the world. As local time varies from place to place, yes, definitely it will vary from one place to another place. In India it is different, in America it is different, in China it is different, in Australia it is different. So it varies from place to place. It would create considerable confusion if each place were follow its own local time. It will create confusion also among the people over there if if some American people, they are having some work in India, then they will get confused by the local timing. So it will create confusion. So to avoid that confusion, standard time has been decided to follow in all over the world. In order to avoid confusion, many countries follow uniform time throughout the country. Such uniform time is based on the central meridian of the country or the meridian on which the most important city is located. So such standard time will be based on which type of meridian? A meridian of the country, or the meridian on which most central meridian of the country. It will be based on the central meridian of the country, or on which most of the important city is located. The uniform time which is followed throughout a country is called standard time of that country. Okay, this is the uniform time which is followed throughout the country. Throughout the country, this uniform time will be followed, and it is called the standard time of that country. In India, 82.5 degree east longitude is considered as a standard meridian of the country. In India, which time we used to follow as the standard meridian of the country? 82.5 degree east longitude. It passes through Allahabad of Uttar Pradesh. The time based on this meridian is called the Indian Standard Time, IST. When you look at somewhere, it will be written IST. Timing will be in IST. That is your Indian Standard Time. This is the time which we follow in India. This is our standard time. It is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT. Okay, when you look at the time difference of GMT and IST, it is the difference of 5 hours and 30 minutes. So this longitude will pass from Allahabad of Uttar Pradesh. This you should remember. Next one is our time zones and internal date line. These are the last topic of this chapter. Time zones. In certain countries of the world where the longitudinal extent is so large that there is often a difference of 3 to 4 hours between one and the other, and land surface is divided into time zones. The whole globe is divided into 24 such time zones, so that time in each zone differs from the other only by 1 hour. In some of the countries of the world, what happens? The land there, that country will be divided into two parts. Means the whole globe will be divided into two parts, so that there will be 24 such time zones, so the time in each zone differs from each other by only 1 hour. So if they are having different types of zones, so they will follow the different time zones also, and each time zone will differ by only 1 hour. Large countries like Russia, USA, Canada, Australia have vast longitudinal extent. These are very large countries of the world, and they have large longitudinal extent. Therefore, they have different time zones. So even they are having one country. For example, Russia is a one country. Then also they have different time zones. Russia has 11 time zones. How many time zones it will follow? 11 time zones. USA and Canada will have 5 time zones, and Australia has 3 time zones. So these are the very big countries. So they are following different time zones. Next, we have the international dateline. The short form is IDL. So, what is this international dateline? The problem of time in countries of the world was first solved by the standard time and then by the zonal time. What is there? That the problem of time in countries of the world was first solved by what? Standard time. First, that standard time was discovered. After that, zonal time was discovered. By the circumnavigation of the world brought a new problem in keeping the correct date and day in the week for the travelers. Therefore, a line passing through 180-degree meridian diametrically opposite to the GMT was adopted as the point where circumnavigators should make adjustments. Okay, so in order to solve that problem, a line passing through 180-degree meridian diametrically opposite to the GMT was adopted as the point where circumnavigators should make adjustment. This line is supposed to pass Pacific Ocean along with 180-degree meridians but makes short detours in order to avoid land masses. This is known as the international date line because the date and day is changed whenever the people cross this line by ships or aeroplanes. So why this line is called the international date line? Because whenever the people will cross this line, date and day will be changed if they will cross this line by ship or aeroplanes, because some of the changes are there in the meridians, 180-degree meridians. Some changes will be made to pass the Pacific Ocean along 180-degree meridians but makes a short detours in order to avoid land masses. Because of that, some changes will be there in the date and day. Any ship crossing crossing this line from west to east takes a day, while the ship crossing this line from east to west drops one day. If any ship will cross this line from west to east, they will take a day twice, while the 2 days will be taken. But if the ship will cross this line from east to west, they will drop one day, means only one day will be needed to cross that line. So this was all about this chapter. We have finished the chapter. If you want the question answers of this chapter, you can comment in the comment section. I will upload the question answers also, and I will explain the question answers. So what we have read in this chapter about earth, we have read about different names of the earth, we have read about the oceans, continents, we have read, and we have read that 70.78% of the earth is covered with water and 29.22% is covered with land. About longitudes and the latitudes, we have read latitudes. We have read that earth is the longest latitude and it is of 0 degree. Okay, and what is longitude? The line joining the north pole and the south pole is called the longitude, and it will cross the equator at 90 degree. That we have read. And about the local time, standard time, we have read time zones, international date line, those things we have read. Go through the video once, read your NCERT books. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you for watching my channel Science Learning Gateway. If this tutorial is helpful for you, then share it with your friends also, and please like it. And if you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section, and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Whenever I will be uploading a new video, you will get the notification for that. Thank you for watching my channel.